It has been a wild couple of weeks in EVE Online, so let's talk about it. Also, I do have a special announcement in this video, so stay tuned. Hey there, Croven here for the Drone Bay, and I want to try something a little different. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I fly for Noir, EVE's longest continuously operating mercenary corporation. I decided it might be interesting to make a sort of vlog about what it is we do. Where appropriate, I will be withholding details about clients and objectives, but I want to give viewers a little taste of what the mercenary life is like in EVE Online. I'm still working on a name, too. If you have suggestions, let me know. So, we're more than a week into the Catalyst expansion, and that hit right after one of the biggest nullsec shakeups in years. No matter what it is you do in game, there was likely something happening to encourage you to log in. Now, I've already talked about the expansion in various previous videos, which you can find in the playlist here on the channel. I won't go into much more detail about that. While I did get up to some mining and huffing to try the new mechanics, I've been spending a fair bit of time in the drone lands, as have many other people. Now that it's done, and frankly, there was already killboard evidence, I feel comfortable telling you that Noir was deployed to the drone lands when the ping heard round New Eden happened, and we learned that Pandemic Horde was, to understate it, in deep trouble. Now, I'm not going to go into many contract specifics, but I will say that we were there to hit and run, mess with infrastructure, and generally conduct asymmetrical warfare operations against a larger group. That's the sort of thing Noir does frequently, and we'd started to settle in when things got dicey. Since we weren't working for Pandemic Horde directly, our members weren't sure how the nature of the contract would change or how long we would have a station to stay docked in. After a couple of days, though, it became clear that the area where we were staging from was about to be reduced to so much rubble. We managed to extract our toys and regroup while we contemplated what to do next. As it turns out, we would not be away for long. When the goons announced that the whole area would become a sort of sovereignty thunderdome, that told us there was likely going to be work and the opportunity for some fun, and we were right on both counts. Noir received a contract from a client who I won't name quite yet, we were to help secure some of the recently vacated space. Now, I wasn't really able to participate a lot in that contract, but my understanding is that our side was largely unopposed for most objectives. Around that same time, our CEO, Alexei Card, let the membership know that he was working on another plan. Noir was going to take a system. Now, I've spent a fair bit of my EVE career in and around sovereignty blocks, and I'll admit that the thought of getting back into that part of the game was not hugely appealing. Noir was going to try to take UAJ 5 TAC K in Outer Passage and set up a Freeport. Now, to give you a little bit of background on myself as a player, I have been involved in nullsec Freeports and Freeports in general to various degrees ever since the very first one. My first nullsec experience was as part of the Interstellar Starbase Syndicate back in 2006. ISS was a group that was the first to construct one of the old-style Galente outposts about 20 years ago. Up until that point, everyone had been focused on the Amar, Minmatar, and Caldari outposts, which all provided bonuses to industry, and ISS had those too. The Galente outpost was good for two things: a market and available corp offices. This was when player structures like that acted a lot more like NPC stations, namely in that they couldn't be destroyed. So the only reason and CCP's vision behind the Galente outpost was to have it be a sort of trade hub. ISS Marginis, as the station was called, was to be that nullsec trade hub in the middle of Ketch. I was instantly in love with the idea. I later left and joined the Mercenary Coalition, and fast forward a few years, and that was when MC broke with Band of Brothers and attempted to set up Tortuga in period basis. That plan ultimately failed, but that sort of idea, relatively small groups being able to establish themselves in nullsec, has always been appealing to me. Block warfare has made that mostly a pipe dream for most of my EVE career. That's why, The idea of the goons and their allies enforcing a sort of free for all existence was really appealing to me. Plus, I've always been a bit of a role player, if I'm honest, and the thought of mercenaries setting up a Freeport in lawless space just really checks some boxes for me. For this operation, can't really call it a contract since it was for ourselves. I was able to help out with capturing some sovereignty. It was really eerie to me to see an area that had been pretty heavily populated just weeks ago essentially deserted in the space of not that many days. This was also my first time really paying attention to how Intosis works when it comes to sovereignty. While it is tedious, I'm here to tell you that it is miles better than some of the systems that I've had to deal with in the past. Also, fun side note, to my knowledge, Noir is the only corporation in EVE, Player Corporation, to have a module named after us. It's a faction in Tosis Link. Now, taking UAJ5 was pretty quiet, and the Fortizar is now up, a lonely little dot of Shadow Cartel sovereignty in Outer Passage. As I write this, Alec has proclaimed to the world that the Freeport, Tortuga, with the numeral 2 where the T would be, is open for business. I'll include a link to the Reddit post in the description, and supply runs have already been made and will continue to be made in the coming days. And I believe the market module has been turned on at this point. One of the most exciting parts of a new venture like this, to me at least, is not knowing what's going to come next. The surrounding regions are likely to be chaotic for a while. That could mean good things for a new unaffiliated market hub. It could also mean a fair bit of work for a mercenary corporation. It could also go up in smoke like the original Tortuga back in my mercenary coalition days. One thing I can be pretty certain of, though, is that it's not going to be boring. As I record this, we're on the cusp of Thanksgiving Day in the United States, and I have a lot to be thankful for in my EVE life. Not the least of those are the 1,000 plus of you now who have subscribed to this channel. And to celebrate all of you and the onlining of the new Freeport, type the word Tortuga with a numeral 2 where the T would normally be, along with your in-game name, in the comments below. You can also comment other things, but Tortuga is what I'm going to be filtering for, so make sure you include it. Also, please no duplicate entries or fresh accounts. I will be keeping an eye for that as well. 1 week after this video goes live, I will choose one winner at random. That lucky pilot will be the proud owner of a shiny new Odysseus Expedition command ship. It's my way of saying thanks for supporting. I'd also really appreciate it if you gave this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It is the best way to help small creators grow, especially in a niche area like EVE Online. You can also help the channel by using our referral codes to EVE Guru, the trade tool that makes me billions of ISK per week, and the Markee Dragon store, a long-running, trustworthy site to buy packs, Omega, and more. The code for both is DroneBay, all one word, and I will get a little bit back when you use that code. Also, Noir and Noir Militia are both recruiting. You can find out more in the Discord server, linked below. Until next time, may you live in interesting times and keep flying.